Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
911 is the go-to emergency number for help. This morning, a woman needed help but didn't call 911. Instead, she sent text messages that ultimately led to her rescue. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly finds out how easy it is to get help through a text.
A text put a man behind bars after a woman needed help.
Request to keep a lookout for a possible rape victim in a semi headed westbound from mile marker 33 I-94. Came in from Ottertail County. She's texting them stating she was raped by the driver of the truck. It's a semi with red and black and yellow lines. Trailers covered with red and yellow tarps.
For the victim in this situation and many others, it's as simple as a text message to 911 and you are instantly in contact with dispatch in your area.
Text to 911 works just like you would text anybody else. You put in the number 911 and you text the message.
It's handled just like a 911 call, where dispatch is able to text back and forth with you to send emergency responders.
If people are in a situation where they can't call because they're scared or they can't talk, they also have the ability to text 911 and get through. Sometimes they're in a situation where they're with another person and it would be dangerous for them to call and to speak.
Philippi says this can also be a great resource for people with disabilities. She tells us if you are unable to communicate by talking, a text can be the difference between life and death.
January to June of this year, we had over 48,000 911 calls, and we had 26 text to 911 calls. But those 26 people who needed text to 911 we're able to get through because we have it here.
Texting 911 is not available in every state. However, both North Dakota and Minnesota have the ability statewide to make sure officials are there when you need them. In Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Philippi also wants to remind people 911 cannot receive photos, videos, or emojis. They will not receive your message if you include more than just a simple text. Still no sign of a missing Moorhead girl. 14-year-old Hajar Kasim is 4 feet 11 inches tall, weighs about 110 pounds, has brown eyes and black hair. She was last seen wearing a red T-shirt and gray pants on Wednesday, the 14th. Police say they believe she is currently in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Anyone who has information on her whereabouts, you're urged to call the Red River Regional Dispatch Center. Phone numbers right there on your screen now, 701-451-7660. A man riding along a Fargo bike path found needles on the ground over the weekend. He says police told him even carrying them to the trash could be a liability, as North Dakota Century Code has rules against carrying drug paraphernalia. But if you do discard the needles, you should use tongs as well as puncture-resistant gloves and throw them away in a heavy-duty container like a laundry detergent bottle. While we're told there's no local service right now that disposes needles, there is an option: sharp kiosks in town.
I'm hoping that the next time we visit about this, I'll be able to say, yes, call this person at this number at this time, and we'll get it taken care of.
For more information on this, including the addresses for the 2 Sharps kiosks in town, head to our website and click on this story. We have a road construction update. It involves 52nd Avenue South in West Fargo and Fargo. Over the weekend, a stretch from 45th Street to Veterans opened, and now another section, this time from 63rd Street South. That intersection is open. However, what drivers have regained may not ease the pain and confusion they've been dealing with. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard spoke with the city of Fargo to see how much longer it's going to take.
They have the baby pool and the big pool.
Danielle Burkle spends many of her days outside, watching the kids as they play in their slide.
Go on the bounce house, guys.
And it won't be long before her 6-year-old daughter, Mia, is off to elementary school at Deer Creek.
My main concern is for safety for all of our little ones. It's just really hard to have all of the trucks driving by back and forth at all hours of the day.
Big construction trucks like these. Watch as one drives by in the background during our chat.
Yeah, the trucks fly by. And again, with the different roads being open and closed, I think people get frustrated and then they tend to, especially like trucks, trying to get to their jobs and things tend to do a little bit of a lead foot.
Burkle added that in just a week, Mia will be walking to and from school. She says she's feeling a little uneasy about it.
It's stressful. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very concerned about sending her.
I'm here at 52nd Avenue South and 63rd Street South, where, as you can see behind me, there's still quite a bit of traffic. The city of Fargo says it's only going to get worse when school starts. The other challenge for people living in this part of town will be the continued challenges because of unfinished road work. There's some good news. 52nd Avenue South will be open to 2 lanes shortly.
In about mid to late October, we'd like to have this whole project wrapped up.
And until the work wraps up, you might want to drive around the area a bit to find the best, the quickest, and the least stressful routes before your kids head back to school. In West Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
For the latest on road work and updates on construction schedules, visit our website. Go to valleynewslive.com. The Stars and Stripes are flying proudly along 13th Avenue South in front of the Ramada Inn in Fargo. Tonight, as part of the monthly Vietnam Veterans meeting there, Old Glory was hoisted up on a new pole. It's part of the ongoing renovation at the hotel and inside O'Clevy's bar. Members of Post 941 were on hand to help with the first ever raising of the flag there. This turned out to be a busy night on the Red River. Dozens climbing into their boats and they went racing. Some came in costumes and all skill levels were welcome. Paddlers could choose the distance they wanted to travel, either 3.5 or 6 miles. For most, it was a friendly contest, but for some Fargo post office co-workers, there was a little more at stake.
This is the Borgen Farrell Courage Award 2019, which means we are the only postal workers that showed up for the race, so we win by default. Next year, you guys, we need some competition.
Yeah, bring it on.
Bring it on, yeah.
Tonight's races were organized by the Red River River Keepers, a conservation group that looks to make the river a healthy and fun place. The North Dakota Safety Council is releasing tips for parents and the public to keep students safe. It's especially emphasizing safety at school bus stops, reminding parents to teach kids to stay 6 feet away from the curb, waiting for the driver to say it's okay to board, and to cross streets 10 feet in front of the bus, never behind. Officials also want the community to pay extra attention in school zones and around the bus stops. Pack your patience if you're traveling out of Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Security checkpoint setups have been reconfigured for the next 5 months due to construction at the airport. Today was the first day of the reconfigured checkpoints. Long lines stretched from the north checkpoint almost to the south. On both sides, some waited well over a half hour to get through.
Well, we appreciate people's patience, and for people who had a problem this morning, we're sorry for that. We wanted to pay attention to the security changes at the south security checkpoint and make sure that they're going to the right security checkpoint.
That spokesperson also says passengers on domestic flights should arrive 2 hours early, international flights 3 hours. The Minnesota Department of Natural Resources is asking ruffed grouse hunters in northern Minnesota to voluntarily submit samples for a West Nile virus research project. Researchers will test hunter-harvested birds for exposure and active infections of the disease. West Nile virus has been present in Minnesota since the early 2000s. Cases have been found in wild birds, people, and other mammals. A study in Pennsylvania indicated the virus could impact ruffed grouse populations when combined with habitat stresses. There have been no documented cases of people contracting West Nile virus from consuming properly cooked meat.
All right, thanks for joining us on Valley News Live. A very quiet evening after a warm day with highs in those mid-80s. We're still in the upper 70s here. Feels like 79 degrees thanks to those winds from the south-southeast at 9 miles per hour. We have high dew points near 70 degrees, so it's pretty sticky out there. Temperatures are remaining warm across much of eastern North Dakota, with a few of us still in those 70s, including the FM area. Detroit Lakes also in that same basket. And we have 60 as things are a little bit more refreshing up near Lake of the Woods. Here's a look at the radar. At this time, we do have a couple of thunderstorms working their way in the general direction of Rolette and Rolla right now. And as we see up to the north near Brandon and just off to the west of Winnipeg, a line of showers and thunderstorms working their way eastward. These are not severe at this this time, but as we go through the overnight hours, we could have some noisy thunderstorm activity as we approach daybreak. Right now, that storm over the Willow City area and moving off to the east at about 25 miles per hour. Some small hail with it, but nothing severe at this particular time. We see anything that formed down in central North Dakota has since dissipated. So mainly it's this activity up here near the international border we'll be watching as we go through the overnight hours. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. As we go between 10 and, say, 2 a.m., we'll start to see an expansion of thunderstorm activity in northwest Minnesota. Now, it doesn't look too active at 2 in the morning, but between 2 and 4, things really get going, and this is where we'll have a chance at some isolated severe thunderstorms. They could produce some hail and gusty straight-line winds. Those are the main concerns as we go through the overnight hours. So if you're awakened by thunder, if there's anything severe, just tune into Valley News Live. We'll make sure you're informed. Now, as we go towards daybreak, 5 o'clock in the morning, these are racing through northwest portions of Minnesota. Chances for rain and thunder here in Fargo and points south and west, a lot lower than our neighbors in northwest Minnesota. And as we go towards daybreak at 7 in the morning, those storms will be near the Red Lakes area and then quickly out of here by the midday hour. But what will return is winds. We're going to have gusty north winds tomorrow, gusting over 25 miles per hour at times. But the clouds clear out in your afternoon. Temperatures won't be as hot as today and will replace this muggy air with a lot less humid air. And then tomorrow night, we really cool off pretty quickly thanks to that new dry air mass in place. Hour-by-hour forecast then for Fargo starts out the day like this with temperatures in the mid and upper 60s. If we're going to get thunderstorms, it'll be between, say, 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. Then after that, we'll see gradually decreasing clouds and temperatures ramping up to an afternoon reading on your way home of 77 degrees, 75 Wahpeton, 76 in Sisseton, and the Devil's Lake area, 72 for your afternoon. 73 in Detroit Lakes, and still a few clouds, but decreasing in the early to mid-afternoon hours in Lakes Country for the day. It does look like we'll see a lot of sunshine in the latter part of the day, but don't forget about those winds. Barbara Wyman capturing this at the Old Lake. Beautiful shot there. Here is a look at your forecast for Wednesday. Look at those morning temperatures in the 40s. We'll keep 40s and near 50-degree readings as we head into the day on Thursday as well. But another quiet and dry day, Mike. And then the weekend for good old potato days will return chances of storms. It does not look like it's going to storm all day for the 3-day event there, but we'll have to keep our eyes on a few.
Looks like a pretty decent week.
Really, and temperatures do return to the 80s for the weekend as well.
We'll enjoy it. Thanks. Later on Valley News Live 10 at 10, an iconic and beloved barn is back after burning to the ground nearly 2 years ago. We take an exclusive look inside after the break.